The Locust Horde in Gears of War had many types of creatures within their army, each one playing a specific role in the war against a coalition of governments. The Locust army is very resourceful in using almost any creature for combat. They operate in a military-like fashion, similar to humans, having generals or commanders of an army and setting up potential strikes on a human outpost. One specific unit that I've always liked are the Cantus. They are bipedal and act as a support class. Their high standing in the army does allow them to issue orders to the other units. The Cantus were a religious species in the Locust army. They acted as monks and worshipped the Riftworms and Rockworms. One of the Riftworms was awakened in Gears of War 2 and was used to destroy the cities of Ilima, Montevado, and Tolan. The Cantus would see the Riftworm as a deity or a god, because it was a life giver. It was also controlled by the Cantus high priest Scourge. There was also a sacred Cantus scroll that contained verses. This was a way of communication to the Rockworms when they were to be used in combat. It's possible Scourge may have used these scrolls to command the Riftworm. A holy symbol was made in honor of the 3 Riftworms. Each of them are shown on the religious artifact called the Trinity of Worms. This item also held sacred text about the Locust Queen making drones to protect Nexus, which is the capital of the Locust Horde. Nexus was located near the center of the Inner Hollow, which was deep underground. Its physical structure was similar to a hive. It included caverns, bridges, torture chambers, a barracks, blood-mount stables, and a royal palace. The last religious artifact that was found was a tablet. It mentions how the Riftworms were used to create the Hollow, and one of them was awakened by something light and hot, most likely the light mass bomb at the end of the first game. The comic books even showed a scene when Rom and Scourge would fight together against the Lambent. This took place some time ago during the Locust Civil War. This was a time when General Srok was in charge of the Locust army. He was even larger than Rom. While Rom was loyal to the Queen with honesty about the situation in the Hollows, Srok would lie to the Queen, just telling her what she wanted to hear. Scourge even mentioned that at some point, having a very high position in the Locust army would grant them exclusive breeding rights, but he also said Drudge tentacles were involved during this process, although this could have been a joke. It's possible that after these events, Rom would become a general by proving his loyalty to the Queen. Now, compared to the drones in the Locust army, the Cantus appeared taller and leaner. Aside from giving out orders to a group of Locust, they would also use their special chanting to heal any injuries on most Locust targets. This special ability could also pick up any downed Locust left crawling on their knees, but this would also come with a fault. Upon being picked up, the drone would be filled with a life force while being unable to move for a few seconds. This scream would also knock back any human too close to the Cantus. While the Cantus were known to be intelligent leaders of small groups, they are mostly involved in ambush techniques. The majority of the Cantus were mostly known to use the Ink Grenades and Gorgon submachine guns. Scourge was unique to where he would rely on his dual chainsaw staff. He was also known to be very agile. The Cantus name actually means to sing. This was taken from the translation of cantus or cantar from the Latin language. It's a very fitting name because it's linked to its ability of chanting to heal other Locust. Its chanting was also translated to what could possibly mean rise, or perhaps this was just what one Cantus said in that story. After the Lambent Brumag died, the flooding caused many Locusts to evacuate the Hollow. This forced some Cantus to separate from the Queen. Without any guidance, they would form tribes and revert to their primal instincts. They were known as the Savage Cantus. Now, other factions of the Cantus were later given massive amounts of Onyx body armor. They were seen as an elite class of Cantus. This gave them more durability to withstand minor bullets, but explosives were still very effective on them. They were still able to heal the other Locust, but this chanting would leave them exposed to critical areas like the face or mouth. They are rarely seen because they are affiliated with the Queen and are only sent out on special missions by her. While their weapons would be limited to mostly dual Gorgon submachine guns, they would not use ink grenades. Originally, they were given Boltok pistols, but this was removed later on. Their thick, bladed armor could also be used as a weapon. They would use their spiky armor to roll forward in an offensive manner. So that covers the Cantus species and their religion. I really hope they bring back Beast Mode in future Gears of War video games. My favorite character was indeed the Armored Cantus. If you want to see more videos around the lore of Gears of War, then check out my other videos. I've covered General Rom, Scourge, the Berserker, Brumak, and the Corpser. And don't forget to leave a like rating on this video, and subscribe with notifications turned on. There are a lot of topics that interest me, so stay tuned for similar videos. I'll see you next time.